The massacre in Gaza, amidst the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict, has captured the attention of the international community, including young Britons. This article aims to shed light on how young Britons perceive and make sense of the tragic events unfolding in Gaza. By examining their perspectives, influenced by various factors such as media consumption, political affiliations, and humanitarian concerns, we can gain valuable insights into their reactions, activism, and aspirations for the future. Furthermore, this article will explore the role of media in shaping their perceptions and awareness, as well as the educational efforts aimed at engaging and informing youth about the situation in Gaza. Ultimately, it is crucial to understand how young Britons view the Gaza massacre, as their voices and actions play a key role in shaping public opinion and potentially affecting future policy decisions. Understanding the context of the massacre in Gaza. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a historical overview. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a complex and long-standing dispute that dates back to the late 19th century. It revolves around competing claims and aspirations of Israelis and Palestinians to the same land. This conflict has led to numerous tragic events, including the ongoing violence in the Gaza Strip. The Gaza Strip: geography, population, and political situation. The Gaza Strip is a small coastal enclave located on the eastern coast of the Mediterranean Sea. It is home to around 2 million Palestinians, making it one of the most densely populated areas in the world. The territory has been under Israeli blockade since 2007, severely restricting the movement of people and goods in and out of Gaza. This has resulted in a dire humanitarian situation and limited access to essential services. The perspective of young Britons, voices, and opinions. Surveying young Britons' attitudes and perspectives. To gain insight into how young Britons perceive the massacre in Gaza, a survey was conducted. The results revealed a wide range of opinions, with some expressing empathy and concern for the plight of Palestinians, while others focused on the security concerns of Israel. The diversity of perspectives highlights the complexity of the issue and the need for open dialogue. Media consumption habits, influencing factors on opinion formation. Young Britons' opinions on the massacre in Gaza are heavily influenced by their media consumption habits. Mainstream media outlets, social networks, and alternative media sources all contribute to shaping their views. Recognizing the role of media in opinion formation is crucial for understanding the different perspectives held by young Britons. Mainstream media coverage, bias, and reporting challenges. Mainstream media coverage of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict has been subject to criticism for its alleged bias towards either Israelis or Palestinians. Some argue that media outlets prioritize certain narratives or fail to provide balanced coverage, thus influencing how young Britons interpret events in Gaza. It is important to critically analyze media sources and seek diverse perspectives to gain a more comprehensive understanding. Alternative media and social networks, diverse information sources. In recent years, alternative media platforms and social networks have emerged as alternative sources of information for young Britons. These platforms provide a diverse range of perspectives and enable individuals to hear marginalized voices. Through these channels, young Britons can access a broader understanding of the situation in Gaza and form their own opinions based on diverse viewpoints. Impact of social and political factors on young Britons' views. Political affiliations and ideological influences. Young Britons' views on the massacre in Gaza are often influenced by their political affiliations and ideological beliefs. Some align themselves with political parties or organizations that have a particular stance on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, shaping their perspectives. Understanding these affiliations and their impact on individual perspectives helps explain the diverse range of opinions held by young Britons. Personal connections and cultural backgrounds. Personal connections and cultural backgrounds also play a role in shaping young Britons' views on the Gaza massacre. Those with personal connections to the region, such as friends or family directly affected by the conflict, may have a more emotional and empathetic response. Additionally, cultural backgrounds and previous exposure to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict can shape the lens through which young Britons perceive the situation. By considering these various factors, we can gain a deeper understanding of how young Britons view the massacre in Gaza. It is essential to engage in respectful and open conversations to foster empathy, knowledge, and the quest for a peaceful resolution to this long-standing conflict. After all, it is through understanding and dialogue that we can work towards a better future for all. Young Britons' reactions to the massacre. Expressing empathy and solidarity with the Palestinian people. As news of the massacre in Gaza spread, young Britons were quick to express their empathy and solidarity with the Palestinian people. Social media platforms became a space for sharing heartfelt messages, stories, and personal reflections. Many young Britons took the time to educate themselves about the historical context and ongoing struggles faced by Palestinians, allowing them to better understand and relate to the human suffering caused by the massacre. Discussion on human rights violations and international law. Concerned about the human rights violations witnessed during the massacre, young Britons engaged in fervent discussions about the importance of upholding international law. They highlighted the need for accountability for those responsible for the violence and pressed for an impartial investigation into the events. Through these discussions, young Britons sought to raise awareness about the impact of such violations on the lives of innocent civilians and the necessity of justice. Protests and demonstrations, amplifying voices. In response to the gravity of the Gaza massacre, young Britons took to the streets, organizing protests and demonstrations to amplify their voices and demand justice. These gatherings served as powerful platforms for expressing their outrage and standing in solidarity with the Palestinian people. Vibrant placards, slogans, and chants echoed through the air, making it clear that young Britons were determined to make their voices heard and contribute to the global movement for peace and justice. Engagement in humanitarian and political initiatives. Young Britons also channeled their compassion into concrete action by actively engaging in humanitarian and political initiatives. They donated to charitable organizations providing aid to those affected by the massacre and joined campaigns advocating for political solutions to prevent further violence. By lending their support to these initiatives, young Britons aimed to make a tangible difference in the lives of those impacted by the massacre and to contribute to long-term efforts for peace in the region. Role of schools and universities in promoting understanding. Realizing the importance of education and awareness, schools and universities in the UK played a significant role in promoting understanding among young Britons. They organized educational programs, open discussions, and guest lectures to provide students with a comprehensive understanding of the Gaza massacre. By fostering informed discussions and critical thinking, educational institutions created opportunities for young Britons to develop their own perspectives and contribute to the ongoing dialogue surrounding the issue. Organizations and campaigns, educating and empowering youth. Various organizations and campaigns dedicated to informing and empowering youth emerged in response to the Gaza massacre. These initiatives used various mediums such as online platforms, workshops, and art exhibitions to educate young Britons about the historical, political, and humanitarian aspects of the situation. By equipping young Britons with knowledge and resources, these organizations aimed to inspire activism, encourage empathy, and foster a deeper understanding of the complexities of the Gaza conflict. Implications and future perspectives on the Gaza massacre for young Britons. Long-term impact on political engagement and activism. The Gaza massacre has left a lasting impact on young Britons, galvanizing their political engagement and activism. Witnessing the devastating consequences of violence and injustice, many young Britons have become more determined to challenge systemic issues, hold governments accountable, and work towards a more just world. The experiences and lessons learned from the Gaza massacre have fueled their commitment to long-term activism, ensuring that their voices continue to be heard. Hope for peace and reconciliation in the region. Despite the gravity of the situation, young Britons remain hopeful for peace and reconciliation in the region. They believe that through continued dialogue, understanding, and collective action, a just and lasting solution can be found. Young Britons recognize the importance of standing together with both Israelis and Palestinians to create a future where violence and suffering are replaced by compassion, coexistence, and mutual respect. As they work towards this vision, young Britons are determined to play an active role in building a better world for all. In conclusion, the viewpoints and reactions of young Britons towards the massacre in Gaza reflect a complex interplay of personal experiences, political beliefs, and access to diverse media sources. Their empathy for the plight of the Palestinian people and calls for justice reveal a growing awareness of humanitarian concerns and human rights violations. As young Britons actively engage in activism, protests, and educational initiatives, the determination to bring about positive change and foster peace in the region is evident. By continuing to amplify their voices, support their efforts, and promote understanding, there is hope for a brighter future where the cycle of violence and suffering in Gaza can be brought to an end. FAQ 4. How do young Britons see the massacre in Gaza? 1. How are the perceptions of young Britons towards the Gaza massacre influenced? Young Britons' viewpoints on the Gaza massacre are shaped by various factors, including their political affiliations, personal connections, and exposure to different media sources. These influences can significantly impact their understanding of the conflict and their reactions to the events in Gaza. 2. What role does media play in shaping the perceptions of young Britons? Media plays a crucial role in shaping the perceptions of young Britons towards the Gaza massacre. Mainstream media coverage, often criticized for bias, can influence their understanding of the conflict. However, alternative media sources and social networks also play a significant role, providing diverse perspectives and information that can challenge mainstream narratives. 3. How do young Britons express their solidarity with the Palestinian people? Young Britons express their solidarity with the Palestinian people through various means. They actively participate in protests, demonstrations, and other forms of activism to raise awareness about the Gaza massacre. Additionally, they engage in humanitarian and political initiatives, supporting causes and organizations that advocate for justice and human rights in the region. 4. What is the long-term impact of the Gaza massacre on young Britons' political engagement? The Gaza massacre can have a profound impact on the political engagement of young Britons. Witnessing the violence and suffering in Gaza can motivate them to become more politically active, seeking to influence policy decisions and promote peace in the region. Their experiences may shape their future involvement in political and humanitarian causes as they strive to prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the future.